welcome to the Odd Gaming Podcast. I'm Stuart, as always, joined by Ed. Ed, how's it going today, man?
It's going good. Another great day to talk about video games. Technically,
Heck
every day is
yeah.
a great day to talk about video games. But yeah, no, it's good. It's been really good.
Awesome, man. Glad to hear it. Well, definitely want to get into it. Kind of keeping with the theme from the last two episodes, we're gonna kind of close out this little trilogy series that we have going on. We're gonna do our favorite games from 2010 to 2020.
Awesome.
We were talking about it right before the podcast started and kind of started jotting down games. And before we kind of laid everything out, I couldn't think of a lot of games, but as soon as I start writing games, so many games popped up. What an incredible decade for video games.
Oh yeah, 100%. So many great games. It's hard because there's so many great games out there. But I think I got some good ones. So yeah, I'm excited to talk about them, and I'm excited to see what games you've got.
Absolutely. Let's see if we can beat our two streak from
Yeah,
last
our
week.
two
We
streak.
had
Yeah.
two games that were the similar, so hopefully we might have one or two line up. There's a
Yep.
couple we definitely played back in the day
Oh yeah.
together that might be in there, but we'll see. We'll see. But
Yeah.
kind of as always, we're going to start with what we're playing. Again, this is what's today? May 20th, May
Yeah.
21st, something like that. May
Yeah.
21st.
May
When we're
21st.
recording this. Yeah, so it's obviously it's still Tears of the Kingdom. I haven't gotten a ton of playtime in, but I know Ed, you've gotten a little bit more playtime in than I have. So what have you gotten accomplished so far?
Same as last week, nothing. Yeah, I've I've put, I don't know, I'm probably, I would say maybe 15-ish, at least 15 hours, could be more, but somewhere around there. I have accomplished 0% on the main story. I keep on getting sidetracked. I've found some new like armor and
There you go.
cool things like that. So I have that. But yeah, other than that, same as last time. I've just been exploring, getting sidetracked like crazy. I'm on one end of the map, and then before I know it, I'm on the complete opposite end of the map. Um,
Absolutely.
so yeah, I think I'm finally though. I think I'm like gonna force myself to just do something in the main story, just so I can at least see what the main story is about.
Sure,
But
sure.
we'll see. We'll see. I say that right now, but only time will tell. So yeah, yeah, come back and ask me next week, and then I'll let you know if I've
For sure.
accomplished anything or if it's the same thing.
It'll probably be the same. Let's just be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah,
That game is
probably.
just so insane. It is an ADD ADHD nightmare. I mean,
Oh, it
it
is.
is just there's so much. I was going right towards like one of the four areas. I started doing it. I started going through the path, and then I see something shiny in the distance. So I was like, okay,
Oh, yeah.
grab my horse. We go over. It's a shrine. Cool. We knock out the shrine. And then I see something else. Then I see something else. Then I end up in the sky. And then I do some more shrines. And then I come down and see some more things. And then I have enemies attack me. And 5 hours later, I've done nothing from the mission I started, and I'm on the other side of the map. So I'm kind of in the same position as you. I've only put a few hours in this week. It's been pretty crazy. But yeah, it's the same exact thing. That game is incredible, but it really rewards you, and it does a great job of allowing you to explore the environment.
Mhm.
And there's so much to do, and you can do it at any time. There's no
Oh,
particular
yeah.
order. There's no particular areas, or you can't come in here yet because you haven't done XYZ. It's just here's the place. Here's the four things you have to do. Have fun.
Oh, yeah.
And I
No,
think that's what's so amazing about it.
oh, yeah. No, it's such a great game. Like, it's just you do the game at your own pace. If you want to just like plow through it and just
Mhm.
beat it, you can and beat it. And I'm sure within just a few, not even within a couple hours or less. You got those speed runners out there
Sure.
which are already they're out there and they're already doing things. What was it, 97 minutes, I think, is the
Yeah,
fastest right
94,
now.
96, something
94.
like that.
Yeah,
Crazy.
which is crazy. Or you can be like me and put a crap ton of hours, or just like you put a crap ton of hours into
Yeah,
it and accomplish nothing. But that's the beauty of the game. So yeah,
absolutely.
it's an awesome. Everyone's gonna have their own experience, which is really awesome and it's really cool because you can just everyone's gonna have their own like, oh no, I've done this so far and this is where I am in the story, and it's a cool thing to everyone just has their own gaming experience with that, and it's very unique. So yeah, props to them.
Oh, for sure. I think that's the coolest part is you get I mean, we're talking about it and we have different experiences. You watch videos and they're
Mhm.
finding really cool experiences. I mean, tons of cool weird videos and weird things people are building and finding, and I mean, everyone's going to have a different experience with the game.
Oh yeah,
And they give you so many tools with the whole building mechanic and everything. Plus the
it's
vast world that they've created. It's in my eyes right now, it's a never ending game. There's going to be
oh yeah,
always something to do. I imagine they're going to release DLC for it like they did Breath of the Wild. So
oh
they're
yeah.
I mean that game is going to go on and on and on and on.
It's the never-ending story.
Hey, that's it. But it's Zelda. So
Zelda, yeah, I
it
think
kind of is. It is the never ending
it is
story.
a never-ending story. Yeah, literally,
Mhm.
it's and
It
then it's
100% is.
oh yeah, but no, and also I think just when you're talking about just like all the videos and stuff that people have out there, it just reminds me of just all the my TikToks, or a bunch of it's now Tears of the Kingdom,
Absolutely.
but a bunch of it is just people torturing the Koroks, which is hilarious. Um, like it's crazy the contraptions that people are coming up with to just torture these little creatures that just want your help to get to their friend. And people are just creating these crazy contraptions that I would never think of to just torture them. And it's hilarious. Um,
It creates
I,
great content. I mean,
yeah,
yeah.
Nintendo had to know that people were going to do crazy stuff. Like, you're allowing us to build things, and people are literally just creating things to just torture these creatures, which is awesome. It makes for great entertainment. Like,
Oh,
um,
definitely.
you've got people roasting them over a fire. You've got people blowing them up, launching them in the air, um, dragging up, like just all these crazy things. It's hilarious. If you haven't seen the videos, I definitely recommend checking them out. It's a good laugh.
Man, I haven't even seen those yet, so I need to go check those out
Oh,
after we record
you
for
can
sure.
get lost just watching just all the hundreds of videos out there that people have of just them just I, like I said, just
It sounds like it. It sounds
torturing
crazy.
these creatures. Yeah, it's awesome.
I mean,
I,
that's what I was saying is like everyone's experience is different and everyone's gonna find something funny or cool, and they give you all the tools and say have fun. And I
oh yeah,
think that's the coolest part is just a fun game that doesn't make you have to do ABC. Here's the things you can do in whatever order, have a good time with the game.
yeah. You can go A B C H I Q Z back to B
Elemento Z,
H
exactly.
H D H D H.
Hey,
I
that's
can't.
it.
Yeah.
Oh
So
man.
yeah,
But great game. I definitely will check back in next week. See how far. Hopefully I get a few more hours in this week into it. Hopefully you get some more time. Maybe you'll beat the one of the first levels, maybe.
yeah,
I mean,
maybe. Yeah,
well, maybe. We'll
if
see.
I think if we each beat something in the main story, I'll be proud of
I'll be
us. And
shocked. I know,
yeah,
I'll be proud. I'll be a little shocked, but I'll be
I'll be
proud.
a little shocked. Yeah, I'll be like, oh, I did it.
Okay. Yeah, thanks.
Okay, awesome. Well, time to get lost even more. But yeah,
Exactly. And then 25 hours later of building random robots and
yeah.
exploring caverns and whatever else, and finding shiny things and keep
Oh
running.
yeah,
So
so many shiny things.
that's pretty much it. Yeah,
Yep.
but still, I mean, an incredible game.
But
I
yeah.
can't wait to get more into the story because I did really like the story,
Mhm.
plot, and the cinematics and everything at the beginning of the game.
Oh yeah.
Um, so I mean, the game's vast. I want to explore all that, but I am excited to kind of get into the story too.
Oh yeah.
'Cause obviously, I mean, Zelda is known for amazing stories,
Oh
and
yeah.
amazing storytelling. So I imagine that it's amazing as well.
And I don't know if we mentioned it. We probably did. I don't, but just the music is the orchestral music on there is so it's
Oh,
so great. It adds
it's
so much
incredible.
to the game. It is.
I think I
So
talked about it last week, but that first scene where you jump off into the sky
mhm.
and they have that orchestral piece opening, and then the Zelda Tears of the Kingdom logo goes. Like,
Mhm.
definitely got goosebumps on that. It was a
Oh yeah.
phenomenal track, and the rest of the music. I mean, they've always done incredible music. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
even from the 8-bit era with Zelda One on the NES. Uh, I mean, the music has always been incredible, iconic, over the top, and in the last few, you have these full orchestral arrangements. It's, I mean, they pull out all the stops with this game. They
Yeah.
have to at this point.
Oh yeah. And then those were you why we really love the music is we were music people way back in the day in college. So, yeah, so music is just also a big thing for us too, especially in video games. So, that's why we talk about the music. Some people might not care, but to me, and I'm sure to you, it just adds so much to the
It
story, and
does. Absolutely.
it's just gorgeous
If
arrangements.
if you do a phenomenal job with the music, I mean, it takes a good game to a great game, a great
Oh
game to a phenomenal game. I mean, it just adds so much more of that emotion, that excitement, that high, that low. I mean, there's so many good ones, but that might be a podcast we do too. Some of our favorite video game music, or a little segment, or something like that. That'd be a fun one.
Oh yeah, my I guess my washer dryer was got excited of us talking about music that it just did a little jig, just
Uh
a little
oh,
song
a
for
little
us.
happy.
So you might, if you guys are listening, you might hear my washer dryer in the background,
It's
doing
just your
its
undie shaking around. It's all
yeah,
good.
yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. No
It's
problem.
it's all good.
Exactly. Man, so going into we'll talk a little bit more about Zelda, and I think we're gonna cut right into it because we're not really looking to any other games that are different from last week. So,
Yep.
um, so we it took 6 years to get Tears of the Kingdom from Breath of the Wild.
It still feels like it was yesterday.
Oh, I know, right? What do you think is gonna be the next take, or the next thing that Zelda is gonna do in the series? Do you think they're gonna do a Breath of the Wild 3? Or do you think they're gonna go something completely different and anger people again like they did with Wind Waker? What do you think the next route is for the Zelda series after
You
this?
know, I think with just how successful Breath of the Wild has, and especially and Tears of the Kingdom, I think they're probably gonna stick to this formula thing that they've got going on. I think also I saw an article or skimmed the article. I can't remember what gaming website posted it, but I saw it and I did see that Nintendo said just because of how successful this is, all future Zelda games are going to kind of go along with this
Yeah.
Tears of the Kingdom Breath of the Wild type thing that they've got going on. So
Mhm.
so I think it'll probably be maybe I think they'll change it up for sure. They're gonna, I don't think they're just gonna. I don't know. They
Do you
could
think
go
the art style is gonna change?
the what?
The art style. Do you think they're
Oh,
gonna change that at all?
um, I don't know. They are really good about changing the art style. Like I feel you've had they've kind of had because this kind of has you can see some of the Wind Waker art style in there just a little.
Mhm,
Skyward Sword, Wind Waker, Breath of the Wild. They've all kind of had some of that more cartoony type style, I guess, if you want to
mhm.
say. So I don't know. They could change it up. Like I wouldn't complain. Like I enjoy the style, the way it looks, but if they change it up, I'm not gonna complain. Like it'd be cool to see what else they can envision with
Absolutely.
the franchise. So hey, I'm all open for them to change up the style. So we'll see. But I don't know. That'd be kind of cool because he did have Twilight Princess was very unique. I think
Yep.
that was a cool style, but more dark, and it was kind of not what this art style is in Wind Waker and Skyward Sword was. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I don't know. What do you think?
I'm kind of thinking the same thing, but you think about the past of all the different Zelda games that have come out, and it seems like right when they've gotten like a formula or a style almost perfected, and everyone loves it, they switch it up.
Hmm.
And when they do, people still love it. I mean, they've had a couple that don't get the credit that they deserve necessarily. I mean,
Yep.
Wind Waker was a great game, but
Yep.
people were just mad about the art style just because of the GameCube sizzle reel trailer that announced with it, where you had this amazing looking Zelda. Which I mean, you haven't seen it; it looks phenomenal even today.
Oh
And I
yeah.
would, and I get that, but Wind Waker was a phenomenal game. It's just people being angry because they could and threw their little temper tantrums. But
Oh yeah.
um, I don't know. Like it's one of those where if they don't do exactly what they're doing now and then adding it, just like they did with Breath of the Wild: The Tears of the Kingdom, I don't know how people are going to take that, and I don't know how they're going to reinvent that
Yeah.
in a way that's like, okay, we took what we learned from these last two games, but then made a whole different, style, genre, experience while taking some of those elements.
Hmm.
I don't know how much they can do with creating a new style of game.
Yeah.
It almost feels like they're almost getting stuck into that, or they start going back into like the you know Ocarina of Time, Twilight Princess style of game,
Yeah.
um, or even go all the way back to the 2D style.
Yeah.
I mean, they did that with Link's Awakening, with the
Yeah.
remake, which was
Yep.
phenomenal.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
super cool game.
so I mean, there's a lot of options that they can do with it. I'm kind of excited to see where it goes, but as of right now, I'm definitely excited to keep playing the game. Um, but yeah, I mean that'd be a cool one to kind of see what they do in the next 5-6 years when the new Zelda title gets announced.
Oh,
But
yeah, so we'll see what we'll maybe come having a new Nintendo console here soon. Now there's
I mean, hey, that's
lots
Switch
of
Pro, Switch
yeah,
2,
yep. The Switch 64,
Switch 64. Hey, that's that Wii Switch.
that Wii Switch.
Heck yeah, they're gonna do that, and you have to have the little nunchuck system
Oh, yeah, the
to
nunchuck
use the Switch
system,
now.
yep, yep.
Heck yeah.
We'll see. We'll see what,
Hey, that's it.
Nintendo has something up their sleeve. What it is,
Oh
not
yeah,
entirely sure,
they've
but
already they already know.
oh, yeah, they know. They've got it. They've got some sort of plan. They're just not gonna tell us because that's Nintendo.
Of course not. Yeah, of course not. So, but man, excited for that. Definitely, we'll talk about an update more next week. Next week's gonna be a really, really fun episode. So, me and Ed live in separate cities,
Yep,
so we don't get to do the podcast live. Next week, we're gonna do the podcast in person, both of us. Not doing it so we can actually see each other.
yep,
It's gonna be super cool. It's gonna be super relaxed. It's gonna be a really good time. We're coming up with some really cool ideas for it. So, definitely, we're looking forward to that, and hopefully. The ones and twos of listeners
yep.
enjoy it as well. So we're definitely excited about that.
Yeah, so, yeah, stay tuned. We've got some cool stuff that we're, yeah, you said that we're, working up and cooking. So just
Yeah.
yeah, stay tuned and keep on tuning in each week, and we'll come out with some fun stuff for you guys and stuff that we just this stuff's fun for us. We love it. It's an escape.
Mhm.
So yeah, stay tuned.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're gonna start putting a little bit more Instagram, trying to get a little bit more involvement and everything, just kind of showing some of the things that we're doing that we're
Yeah,
excited for. We're gonna put up our super awesome, amazing logo at some point.
yeah,
We'll talk about it more once it comes up, but just it's not our final product.
no,
That's all I'm saying. It was just a failed Fiverr experiment that
yeah,
went very wrong. But we're gonna put it up just so we have something there. But
yeah,
we've got some plans for a really amazing logo that's gonna come out pretty soon.
yeah. It was supposed the image what we had envisioned was not what we got, but it's okay. It's
Yeah, it definitely looks like someone went into Microsoft Paint and played
yeah.
around with the fonts and put a little color on it, and that's about it.
Yeah,
So,
but, yeah, you'll see what we're talking about whenever we do, get that, up there, so you'll see, yeah, we'll get something better eventually, but for now, this will
we'll
work.
definitely have something better, absolutely, but this is a
Yeah,
placeholder, it's not permanent,
yeah,
everything's gonna be we strive to try to have as much professionalism and quality when it comes
yeah,
to the product that we're presenting, whether it's the equipment, the look, the logo, but, hey, things happen, and
yep,
it is what it is,
it
so,
is what it is, but it makes for
we're
great
excited for the new
story.
one.
Oh, yeah, and it makes for a great, hilarious story. Um, we've we've
Absolutely.
we've both made a lot of jokes over
Oh,
the
yes.
logo, but so, yeah.
Yep, you get the blows, and you just gotta take them and laugh it off, so
Oh, yeah,
that's
that's
all
all you can
good,
do.
but we'll post it up, and then we'll give a little insight on it in the next
Oh, yeah.
following weeks as well when the new logo starts getting designed.
Yes.
But awesome. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of the
Oh,
episode
yeah.
then. So 2010 to 2020, top favorite games. Uh, like I was saying at the intro of the episode, what an incredible decade for games too. We were talking about last week's was 2010, that decade, and there were so many games that really paved the way for the games that we know and love today, and the games that are still coming out. Same thing with this decade. There are some games that are just absolutely amazing. That once I started typing things up and kind of getting my list together, I was like, "Oh, this game came out this decade. Game came out this decade." So there's a ton. These are our personal favorites. These are not a ranking. This is not a top, three of all time type of thing. These are just the games that we like that mean the most to us, and then we'll throw in a couple of disappointing and possibly an honorable mention or two, just depending on how the episode goes. But
Oh, yeah.
But Ed, I'll have you started off this week. What is one of your games?
Okay, so the first one that I'm gonna start off with, it started off with I think me watching you play it, and then I started playing it, and I was like, "This is really good," and also really trippy. I know it gave you weird dreams, like creepy dreams, I guess, and that's a
Yeah.
heavy rain,
Yes.
2010. Um,
Yes. That was in one of my honorable mentions.
there we go. Heck, we're
No,
starting
it's
off with
okay.
one. So
So we
yeah,
got
Heavy
one.
Rain. Such an incredible game. It was very. I feel like I hadn't played anything like that
No.
before. I don't even know if anything really existed like that. It's such a cool. If you haven't played it, it's a very heavily decision based game. The decisions kind of can change the outcome of your story. Things happen depending on what you choose, and it's a definitely a darker game. Lots of grays, dark. It's constantly raining in the game. Um, Super cool. You start. I'm trying to remember. Like it's been such a long time since I've played the game, but I remember you're. Is it you're playing? Is it the dad in the game in the family at the beginning?
That's the first thing. If I remember right, it's the dad, and I think it's one of the kids' birthday parties,
Yeah.
and at the house, and you're getting stuff ready for it. I think is the opening, and then
Hmm.
the big sequence. I mean, the game's been out 12 years, so I mean,
Yes. If you
we're
haven't
gonna
played
ruin
it,
anything. But
yeah.
small spoilers. But basically, then they go to I think it's the mall or carnival, and then loses the girl. He's running around trying to find the
In the
girl,
game.
and then that's where the whole plot line starts
Oh yeah.
to unravel.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So, yeah, you're trying to basically find your kid, because 'cause they're locked up, they got kidnapped, and it's just you making all these decisions, which, like I said, it can impact the end of the game. There's multiple endings. I haven't unlocked all the endings. That's one of the games I'll probably at some point go back and play. I
Yeah.
don't know when, but it was such a great game, especially for that time. I've never played anything like that. It definitely messed with my mind. Like, it
Mhm.
was just one of those because of the decisions you had to make and just the everything about it. It was kind of creepy in a sense. It's not like a terrifying game, but just because of how it was, it just kind of messed with your head. Like I don't know, it's crazy.
Oh, absolutely. No, I had some weird dreams when I was playing through that game. It is a great game. It was the first one, like you were saying, that really took that visual novel
Hmm.
style of game, and gave it this huge cinematography, gave you all the kind of different choices that you could make, where every single choice you made in that game impacted a storyline in the game and would give you one of, I think it was 8 or 9 different endings
Yeah.
for the game. So every single decision you make, good, bad, indifferent, has some sort of thing there.
Hmm.
And you do play as multiple characters within the game. They all tie together at the storyline and the plot, but you're playing through all different storylines. You're trying to figure out how you want to play each character. Uh, the cinematography is incredible, and especially for I think it came out right at 2010.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think it was right like springtime of 2010.
That sounds
So
right.
for that time frame, cinematography was great. Uh, Voice acting was good. The storyline was good. Um, could have been better. And I won't spoil anything there. The multiple different endings are a little interesting, but other than that, phenomenal game. If you enjoy those type of games, I mean, I believe I was the one who got you into it, Ed, and then you started playing it after
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, because like I said, I watched you play it and I was like, this is really I think I remember I was with you when you bought it. And then I watched you play it. I'm like, wow, this is really cool. Like you're making decisions and your decisions are impacting. And there's just so many different like things. It's just in a sense realistic. There's some realism to it. Not like I said, nothing I've ever played before. So watching you play it got me curious. So I'm pretty sure I played your copy. I don't.
Oh, I
That's
probably gave it to you for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah, and then I beat it, and yeah, and so that's how
Yeah.
I got introduced to
Pretty
those
cool.
games. So yeah, that's great game. If you haven't played it, fun game. I think it's an enjoyable game.
Definitely, definitely. If you enjoy that type of stuff, it's definitely one to check out for sure.
Yeah, definitely one of those games you really do have to pay attention to what people are saying and
Mm.
just what's going on. If not, if you're not into that type of thing and just like having to read and do decisions and just really pay attention, then might not be for you. But if you do like that kind of stuff, great game to get.
Definitely.
But yeah, so that's my first choice. So your turn. What's your first
Yeah. So
choice?
we'll go with another PlayStation exclusive. So we're going to be 2 for 2 on PlayStation exclusives for this decade. But I mean, this one it has to be on my list. I mean, this is
You know,
one of the greatest games of all time.
I have an idea
Just made a
of
TV
what it
show
could
of it.
be. Okay, yeah.
It's The Last of Us,
Hey,
obviously.
that was one of my that was my other one. So
Man, we're 2 for 2 right
yeah,
now.
2 for 2.
Man, we're doing good. So it's funny that like we started off kids, we were very different in our gaming. And then
Mm,
as we've gotten older and through college, a lot of our games started to mesh.
yep.
Uh, whether it's I was playing them or you played them, and then we play it together, or I'd buy it and play it. I mean, it's awesome. But anyways, Last of Us, phenomenal game. Everyone's talked about it to death. But for this game to come out, I was entranced by it. I played it multiple times on the PS3. I played the PS4 version of it. It is a phenomenal game. We talk about cinematography. You talk
Oh,
about trying to build that. I think the best part of it, besides the gameplay, because the gameplay, the graphics are incredible in that game. The
mhm,
crafting elements, everything that adds to kind of that eeriness and that horror that's going in.
mhm.
And it's not just some zombie game. It's a you're surviving and you're doing everything you can to survive. But the storyline and the motion you have as playing as Joel with Ellie, I mean, that is just they did a phenomenal job with that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they nailed it. Every single scene, every single thing when it comes to that game just builds a relationship more and more that impacts your gameplay. I was blown away with this game. I played it actually. I replayed it a couple years ago on the PS3 and was blown away again. I mean, that game just holds up. It is fantastic game. For me, it's probably one of the greatest games of all time. It
Oh,
has to be in my
yeah.
top 3 best games of all time. Period. So, um, I'm not actually too sure. You've definitely played this game, right? A couple times.
Oh yeah, I haven't played part two. I've played just part one, and like I said, it's an incredible game. I'd say, yeah, no, I'd say it's up there as one of my favorite games. Like one, it's if you love zombies, it's a great game
Mhm.
about zombies, but not like your typical zombies. But just the story, it's such a great story, as you said. Like just you get attached to the characters and just kind of seeing the stuff that they're going through and them just trying to survive and um it's just it's a very deep story. It's one of those, it'll make you cry. You'll feel so many different emotions playing the game. They did
Mhm.
such a great job. I actually know a person who worked on the game,
Oh wow,
which is pretty cool. I think they helped develop like the bunch of the scenery, the plants, and just the trees, the environment. They
yeah,
did that. I don't know exactly what all they did, but they did play a pretty big part in the game, which is really cool. But such a great game, and if you haven't seen the TV show is awesome.
they did an
Pedro,
amazing
yeah.
job.
Um, the the people they got to play them was the main characters, a great choice. Pedro
Hmm.
Pascal, awesome actor. He did a great job. I can't remember the girl's name, but she did awesome
Bella
too.
Ramsey.
Yeah, she did awesome too. So
They nailed the casting. Even
good.
I love the show too because I watched a lot of the behind the scenes stuff after the
Mhm.
episode aired. And they used a ton of the voice actors, whether it was
Oh
a
yeah.
reprised role, or just putting them in different other roles, whether it was a small role, a side role, a
Mhm.
background character, which is really really cool to have that as well. But um, if you haven't watched the show, definitely watch it. Obviously, if you're listening, you're a gamer. If you have
Yep.
not played The Last of Us, you need to play this game. It is amazing in every facet. It's an incredible game. Um, it makes a lot more sense with the TV show as well.
Mhm.
If you go into it that way, because they definitely took a couple different things of what the game did in the TV show. So playing both or watching the TV show, playing the game gives you kind of two different experiences
Oh
too
yeah.
of that Last of Us world. So, but I mean, this game has been talked to death, but phenomenal game.
Oh yeah. 100%. Such a great game. Love it.
Absolutely.
Love the TV show. So yeah, I need a I think the last convention we went to a few weeks ago, I think I ended up yeah, I bought what did I? I believe so. Believe I bought Last of Us because I saw it and I was like, I need to pick
I
it up
believe
'cause
you
I
did.
don't
Yeah, you did. You picked it up for pretty cheap.
yeah, because I was like, I don't have it, so because I
Oh,
or I
it's
did have I
it's
probably
one of
I
those
don't know if
games
I
you
did
can't
have
play.
it and got rid I don't remember, but it's like I have it now, so I'm definitely gonna play through it here at some point.
Absolutely. It is I've replayed it probably 3 times at this point, and it's equally as amazing, if not better, every single time. So, one of those games I could play anytime, no problem. It's incredible.
Have I can't remember, have you beaten the 2nd game or
Mhm. Yeah, I beat the 2nd game.
okay, cool. I that's
Not
what
not as not my favorite. I love Last of Us. Last of Us 2 is good, but
mhm,
we can get into that in a different one. But
yeah,
yeah, it's still a great game, just not as good as The Last of Us.
yeah. I'll definitely have to
But going from that high of just what one of the greatest games of all time, what you got for number 2?
okay, so Last of Us, that was gonna be my number 2, but we got
Okay,
that
we'll
covered.
go to number 3.
So, I'm gonna go with, we kinda talked about it, but because I love it, I'm gonna go with, Skyward Sword. That's gonna be one of
Oh,
my other
hot take.
yep,
Hot
2011.
so,
Um,
what made you like this game so much?
um, it was well, one, it was the 25th anniversary, the music was awesome on it, a great game. It's just, I think it's just seeing, like, the origins of the Master Sword. He's, like, the first Link, the first everything, just how it all began. Like it's cool because you know you see you've played all these different Zelda games. You see Ganondorf and he's always being resurrected, but here you get to see um but you know before Ganondorf, you get to see the original Link, the original Zelda. You get to see how you know, like I said, how the Master Sword came to be. So in story wise, um, it's really cool just to see the origins of how everything started,
Yeah.
as far as like you know Link and all of them and the characters. So that was really cool. As far as controls go, not the best controls, really wonky. The
That's
most,
kinda what I was gonna try to get into,
yeah,
but,
yeah, no,
yeah, tell us about that.
yeah, no, like the controls weren't great. Like control wise, probably not the best. Um, like you can be trying to swing your sword and trying to do something, but you'll be trying to swing, you know, whatever, go left or whatever, and your sword's over here to the right, and you're constantly having to try to adjust everything, and it gets really annoying. Like right now, I'm playing it, or I was a few weeks ago on the Switch, and I
Mhm.
switched from motion controls to just actual button control because I was getting angry because I'm trying to do things, and the sword is has like a mind of its own. It's trying to do other things.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, not great. It was that aspect of it was not great. So yeah, that frustrated a lot of people. So I don't know if it's everyone's favorite game, but I enjoyed it. Also, I'm a huge Zelda nerd, so there's that. That's why I chose it. But control wise, horrible. But other than that, it was a gorgeous game, and just being able to go, you know, from the sky and then travel down to the land of Hyrule was really cool. And just I thought the temples were really cool. And there's lots of really cool things, just the enemies, the bosses. It was just a very bright, colorful game, which was really cool. So I enjoyed it. Control wise, horrible. So if you're wanting to play it, just beware. The controls are not great. So if you get it for the Switch, I recommend button controls instead of motion controls, um, because that can definitely impact your gameplay experience. So yeah, great game, but at the same time, it could have been better in the sense of the controls and stuff. But I get it was you know the Wii,
Yeah.
so you know they wanted to utilize all the capabilities that the Wii could, but it kind of failed. But it's okay. I'll forgive them.
Do you think that game, Skyward Sword, would be higher on people's Zelda list if those controls were never introduced?
I think it would honestly. I
Yeah.
believe it would because I think that was the biggest thing is just people hated the controls. It's just
Mhm.
like I said it. wasn't very responsive in the way you wanted it to be. Like you're trying to do these things, but like I said, it seemed like the sword had a mind of its own. You're trying to go one way, one direction, but your sword's doing this, or you're trying to control things, and it's just weird things are happening. So I think it would have been more enjoyable if they hadn't done that. So yeah, no, I think it would have probably been rated higher up if the controls were better.
Absolutely. This is not one I've played yet. I've seen you play it a few times. I've seen
Mhm.
gameplay, all of that. But I mean, I love the art style. I
Oh yeah,
heard the gameplay in general, minus the motion controls, the storyline, all of that is awesome. Like great dungeons, great areas. I I heard it's a really really good game, but I think that's what a lot of people just couldn't get past
yeah, and then
was
also
the controls.
yeah, and also some of the things you see in Breath of the Wild, then also Tears of the Kingdom,
Mhm.
start came from Tears of the Kingdom, like your energy that you have, as far as your stamina bar,
Yeah.
that really, really started in Skyward Sword is where they had that, and you had to, get they had these little plant things that you'd have to run by to collect to get more stamina. So
Hmm.
that came from there, and they put that into Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. But obviously, here you have to create recipes and whatnot to
Of
get that
course.
stamina back up. But yeah, that's where that was introduced. So it's cool seeing some things from Skyward Sword go in the newer Zelda games. So I think if Skyward Sword hadn't happened, there's a few things that we wouldn't even have in the new Zelda game. So there's that.
Sure.
So
So it's definitely a stepping stone
oh
to
yeah,
what
yes,
we had next. Because I mean, the next Zelda game after that was Breath of the Wild, so
yep,
they definitely, figured something out at that
mhm.
point.
Oh yeah, definitely. So that's mine.
Sure.
Um, my number two,
What
three,
is it, 2, 3? What was it? 3? Yeah, yeah.
yeah, 2/3, however,
That's
whatever you
fine.
want to call it.
Yeah, we're sharing a little bit, it's all good, you know?
That's okay. Nothing
We're
wrong
not
with
super
sharing.
formal around here, if it ends up being
Yeah,
3, 4, 5, 2, whatever. We just wanna
whatever.
talk about awesome games that meant a lot to us and
Yep,
chat about it. That's
yep.
it.
So that's it. So what's your other?
Ah, so I'll say which one I want. Okay. So, a series actually I talked about in our 2010. Actually, there's 2 of these on here that are, but I think these games for me are almost the definitive games of that series. This one, the first one of it is BioShock Infinite.
Oh crap! Yeah, I didn't think. Yep,
Yep.
great
That
choice.
is I mean, I love BioShock. We talked about it in the last episode how amazing BioShock is. Infinite took that and was like, okay, let's take that formula, let's put it into the sky and change up everything, but
Mhm,
keep the same things that just make BioShock BioShock. For me, I think it might be my favorite BioShock game.
mhm,
Uh, I think they did a phenomenal job with it. Again, holds up. I mean, the game came out, I believe, in 2013.
mhm,
So the game graphically holds up, gameplay holds up, the storyline is awesome. Um, the everything about the game, they did a fantastic job for taking something that is familiar with the old BioShock games, but changed it up and made it fresh and different and new, but kept everything that people really liked about original BioShock.
mhm,
Just introducing like the sky aspect of it and like the zip lining where you're running around and zipping around the sky, uh, doing the different combos and fighting from that point. They took everything that they that people loved in BioShock and made something completely different, and I'm angry about that because they haven't made another one.
mhm.
I don't know why we don't have a BioShock Infinite 2. I don't know why we don't have a BioShock 4. Have whatever you want to call it.
If
That game was so amazing, and the ending is weird. I mean, I won't spoil anything, but the ending's strange. Um, it's kind of cool, but it's very strange.
I
I
can't
don't see
even
why they
remember the ending. I've played it. I beat it. It's just been so long. I don't remember. I'll
just
look it
go
up.
back and watch like the last 5 minutes of ending. It's super weird. It ties things together, but it's strange. Um, but I don't know why we don't have another Bioshock game. I know that the creator of Bioshock is making another game coming out later this year.
Mm,
It's I'm blanking on it right now, but it's
I
supposed to be kind of the
forgot. I
to
remember
it.
you told me about it, and I looked up. It
Yeah,
looks
I remember
awesome.
texting you about it.
Yeah,
I'll think of it a little bit, but
if
I still want another BioShock game, an
Oh,
actual
yeah.
named BioShock game, because
Oh,
this
yeah.
game was just so good.
So if I was gonna ask you if they were to make another BioShock game, what would you want it to be? Or what would you want in the new BioShock game if they were to come out with one?
Just I mean, I'm not gonna be picky, give me BioShock at the end of the day. Whether we go back to Rapture, whether we go back into the sky, or a completely new area. If they could do the same thing they did from BioShock 2 to Infinite and then do something different where, we're in another land or another world or space or wherever they want to do it, but give me the same familiar BioShock feeling and capabilities and upgrades and all of that that makes the game really good, I'd be completely fine with that. It doesn't need to be in one of the 2 main locations that they've already had.
Mhm.
So I would be completely cool with, even almost like a reinvention of the BioShock series, while keeping with the core elements that made the game awesome.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, another great game that I really enjoyed. I think the the newest one, yeah, my it was my wife that she bought it, and I watched her play it, and after she
Mhm.
beat it, I went and I played it because I love the BioShock series. Such a great series,
Oh,
like
yeah.
you said, super fun, and, like, even though it was the latest one was in the sky and it wasn't, really as dark because you're in the sky, not underwater, it
Mhm.
still had was creepy. Like
Yeah,
they did such a great job. It's still BioShock, even though you're not under like they did such an amazing job. So yeah, no, I
definitely.
completely agree. Such a great game. Great
Yeah, to
choice.
take something that was, like, in this creepy underwater kind of dystopian world that was kinda stuck in, like, the '20s, um, to something that's bright and vibrant like Infinite, but keeping that same feeling on that same kind of dread and same kind of scared that you had in Bioshock 1 and 2. I don't know how they did that, but they did a phenomenal job with that.
Oh yeah.
Being able to keep that same feeling, but having all the sunlight and having an open array of a world versus Rapture, which is very much underground, underwater, and super creepy.
Oh yeah. No, I agree 100%. Such a fun game. But no, I wish they'd make another one. That'd be awesome. But I am excited for the new game that's coming out that I don't
Yeah,
remember.
I'll look it up in a
Yeah.
second, and see once you start talking about your next game. But going into that, then what do you have? What's gonna top Bioshock Infinite? What you got?
I don't know if I love this game. I feel like I'm Nintendo heavy today, but it's okay. Our podcast, I can talk about whatever we want. So, I'm gonna go with Super Smash Ultimate, which came out 2018. Um, um,
Ooh,
yeah,
hot one. Okay.
yeah, it's just such a it's fun game. They've just introduced a million characters on the game. It felt like, the original one was awesome. It came out when we were kids on the 64. I remember seeing the trailer when it came out. All the different characters are all like skipping in a field or whatever, and then I can't remember which character trips the other character, and then they start fighting. Um, but yeah, just they have so many different characters that you can be. I was Luigi was actually my favorite character. Um, but yeah,
And
it's
is that
just
your favorite in general?
do what?
That's your favorite character in general, though.
Um, oh yeah, yeah. Besides Link, yeah, no, I'm a huge Luigi. Like Mario and Luigi, I'm Team Luigi. So I don't care what you guys think. Luigi is more awesome than Mario. So yeah, I'm Team Luigi. But it's just a fun game to play. I just it's just I enjoyed it just because it just reminds me of just getting together with friends and being able to play and fight, and you just have all these different characters from these different um Nintendo games. You got what Sonic in there, Zelda, you have Mario. I'm trying to remember all the different games. Star Fox, you name it, they got in there. I still don't even have all the characters downloaded, like the new ones from the DLCs that they've added. But it's
Even
just,
introduced so many.
oh yeah, it's just I think because they introduced so many, all the characters that they had, it was just really cool. Like it's not anything outstanding, nothing really new as far as Smash Bros. Just I think because of all the characters they had, it's just also just the fact that you can get together with friends. It's an easy game to play. There's not like a million combos that you can do. It's pretty simple as far as combos go, and that's why I just it's simple, but it's just a fun game that you can just, play with friends, and so that's why I chose it. Like I said, it's not like a anything groundbreaking, but it's just a
Yeah.
fun game to play with
Is
friends.
that your favorite Smash?
Um, I would say it's between that one or the one that was on GameCube. I would say those 2 are my favorite.
Brawl
Yeah, Brawl, yeah.
or Brawl or yeah,
Yeah, Brawl. Yeah, Brawl. Brawl? Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, that I believe it's Brawl, yeah, but, I think also just the GameCube, I played that one all the time in high school, pretty much every
No, it's
single day.
Melee, it's Melee.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
remember.
yeah. We seem like fake gamers. I promise, we just got confused.
Yeah, it
We
happens.
have day jobs, we forgot.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But, I just remember, yeah, no, that one, Melee, we'd be, I remember me and one of my friends, every day after school, we'd go to Sonic, we'd get a cheeseburger and then our
Heck yeah.
Coke. We'd go to my friend's house and we'd just play Smash every single day. And I was really good at it in high school, but not anymore. Now anyone can just beat me. But that one, and then yeah, and then the newest one, I would say are my 2 favorites.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Smash is one of those games, it's easy to get into, but
Mhm.
hard to master.
Yeah, like
I mean, you
sport.
can pick up a controller and start playing if you've never played before
Yeah.
and be fine and have a good time, but, there some of these competitive Smash players, it is absolutely ridiculous.
Oh yeah, I don't know how like they're cheating. I don't
Oh,
know
that
how
yeah, yeah, that's it. Yep. Nope.
they're cheating.
It's
Yeah,
not skill, you're cheating. Yep.
yeah, they're cheating. No, I don't know how they do it. Like I've seen people. I can't even compete with them. Like I said, I haven't played. I used to play all the time religiously, but not anymore. So anyone can destroy me now. But it's like I said, it's a fun game story wise. It's not like a great story or anything, but it's like I said, it's just a fun game that you can play with friends, and that's why I chose it.
Definitely. Man, good choice, good
Yeah,
choice.
good choice. Yep.
Yeah, good answer, good answer.
Good answer, Steve.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Uh,
Alright, so, let's see, what do I wanna say? Okay, so my next one, again, I'm sticking with the Sony train, I'm a Sony guy,
yeah, go
but a
for it.
phenomenal series that got a rebirth in the late age of this decade, and that's God of War 2018.
Hmm. Yep.
That game have you played that game, man?
I sure have.
Okay, so what an amazing game to take something because God of War in general is a phenomenal series. Love that series, incredible action, just amazing. But to take something that people love so much that had 6 games that came out for it and change it up completely, and now have a little bit more sentimental where he's got a kid, and now you're changing up the view where you've got that like behind the shoulder third person and you're switching kind of everything up and adding a lot more cinematography and a lot more music and a lot more just production value to it. They knocked it out of the park. That game is absolutely incredible. Uh, the gameplay in that just it feels familiar, but they've taken it to a level that's new and different and makes sense. Like that is such a hard thing to do to take something that people love and has made you a ton of money, has made you super successful over the last, 10 plus years and change it up and do something completely different with a new outlook, with a new style, with a new gameplay. That game is insane. I have played it multiple times. I haven't beat all the Valkyries yet. I'm not that good. So, but Ed, what do you have on this game?
Fantastic game. I actually beat it like 2, 3 months ago.
Okay.
I beat it, and so yeah, it's such a gorgeous game. Like it is
Oh yeah.
amazing. And another one of those, just like Last of Us, it just has an incredible story. And also, I've just always been interested in um mythology. So it's to me that aspect of it's super cool. And this one, I don't know much about like the whole Nordic mythology, so it's really cool being more introduced into that realm
Definitely.
of the legends. But it's such a great game, just being Kratos and just kind of seeing what he's gone through and seeing where he's at now, and then
Mm.
with his son, it's just yeah, it's hard to describe how amazing. If you've never played God of War, um, I'd say this is a great one to play, even if you've never played any of them. Such
Oh
a
yeah.
great game. And I
Yeah,
just
there's
love.
little nods to
Oh
the
yeah,
old ones, but
oh
you
yeah.
could go in fresh, never playing a game, pick up God of War 2018, and you're gonna have an incredible
Oh
time.
yeah. I also just like it. It is linear to a degree, but it's still this one. It still has like an open world aspect. Like there's certain areas where you can just kind of go off and do what you want to do, explore,
Yeah,
which is really cool. And just it's just a great. Also, if you just want to like hack and slash and just,
definitely.
it's one of those games where you have like really cool ways to finish off your enemies. That's gruesome but very satisfying.
It might be one of my favorite, like, combat systems in video
Oh yeah,
games.
like
They it is just so satisfying, like you were saying. There's tons of combos, tons of weapon, things you can do. There's a lot of weapons and features that you get as you progress through the game. And there's so many different ways to use them, to take on almost any type of enemy,
mhm.
and you feel like you're super powerful, but you're still vulnerable at the same time.
Oh yeah.
And they blend that perfectly where, like, yeah, you're Kratos. Yeah, you're the you were the god of war, but you can kick some butt, but they can kick your butt too.
Oh yeah, and I think also just this one, you get to see more of a vulnerable side of Kratos without
Yeah.
really getting into it, but you do see more of the vulnerable because he's the god of war. He's
Mhm.
tough. He shows no emotion, but here you kind of start seeing a more, I don't know, I guess like somewhat of a softer side to Kratos because you're just because he's older, he's gone through all these things, stuff has happened. So that was really cool. Just he's grown a lot
Yeah.
since the series started. So it's just an incredible game, incredible story. Also another game with incredible music. Um,
Oh,
so
phenomenal music.
yeah, I love it. That adds so, like I said, it's music adds so much to games, movies, whatever. So yeah, just another one of those incredible soundtracks. And also, yeah, Valkyrie wise, I've maybe killed two. They're really
Yeah,
hard. I'm
they're
I'm pretty
difficult. Even on the lower difficulty, they're still very, very
yeah.
difficult.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've like I said, I'm pretty sure one of couple of or the first one I think I rage quit because I was like I'm about to throw my controller across the room because I cannot defeat it defeat the Valkyrie.
I've been there. Absolutely. But if you haven't checked out God of War 2018, definitely go check it out. It is a fantastic game. And then once you beat that, go and purchase God of War Ragnarok because, again, awesome. They took everything from 18 and made it even better. So,
Yeah,
but
that
that's
one.
a different decade. We
Yep.
can't talk about that one.
Yeah, no, besides, I need to play it. Haven't played it. I've seen you play some of it.
Yep.
So, yeah, I need to that'll be a game that I pick up eventually.
Hey, once you're old and gray, once you finished up Tears of the
Yeah,
Kingdom, then
Tears of the
you might
Kingdom.
want to jump in on it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna be old just like Kratos.
Absolutely. Yeah, it feels like it sometimes with that game.
Yeah, but hey, it's okay. That's what gaming's about.
That's it. That's it. I've just got so many I want to play. So Tears of the Kingdom's in the way. So that's it. You want to do one more each?
Yeah, we can do one more
All
each.
right.
Okay, so
Yeah.
this one, probably not gonna talk about it much because in a sense, we sort of talked about it, but I have to mention it. Um, and it's gonna be Breath of the Wild. So, like,
Obviously.
yeah,
Obviously.
I have to
If
mention
it
it.
wasn't, I'd be very concerned.
Yeah, like I've like I said, we've talked about Tears of the Kingdom, so similar, but it's just that was the introduced us to that type of that type of world with Zelda just basically being able to do whatever you want. You can co- finish the story at your own pace. You can go here, go there, go everywhere,
Hmm.
and it's very unique. It was very refreshing, just to me, just a really cool take on the world of Hyrule and Zelda, and so it's just an incredible story. Um, and like I said, Breath of the Wild. I remember when I first put the game in, and then that opening sequence, I like teared up so it just took my breath away.
Yeah.
Even to this day, I can put in Breath of the Wild in that opening sequence. Same with Tears of the Kingdom. It takes my breath away. Like it's just so gorgeous, and it's just the fact that you can just pretty much do whatever the heck you want, go explore, and do 100 hours in the game and still accomplish nothing. That was really cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, Breath of the Wild. Like I said, I'm not going to talk about it much because we've talked about Tears of the Kingdom. So lots of lots of things that we've talked about in Tears of the Kingdom obviously transfer over to Breath of the Wild, but it's just one of those games that was an incredible game. Everything about it was amazing, and then just with the new one, which, it just they expanded upon it, and yeah, great game. So that's all I'm
Definitely.
gonna say about that because if I'll be repeating
We've
a lot of
talked to
the
the
games.
death at
Yeah.
this point.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna say much more
Absolutely.
besides I had to mention it because, like I said, came out in that era that we're talking about, so I just had to mention it.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, I was gonna be shocked if you didn't mention it,
Yeah,
so
and I was thinking
glad you did. I
yeah,
think everyone else would be shocked, the ones of
yeah,
twos of viewers that are
yeah.
listening to us
For
would
our
also be shocked.
for our 2 fans out there, we love you guys.
Yeah, 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 thanks.
Yeah, thanks for listening. You keep us alive.
That's it.
It's because of you guys that we're able to pay the bills.
Oh, yeah, yeah, all that money we're getting,
All that money
definitely.
that we're getting, yeah. All our sponsors.
Absolutely. Definitely. Oh, yeah.
You never know, one day
One day, that's it.
it'll
We're
happen.
just we're just, just 2 guys talking about video games, just having a good time, so
We'll have a big
whatever
person on here one day. It's gonna happen. It'll happen.
it's
Who?
gonna happen,
I
you
don't
know
know.
what? We're here to talk about games and have a good time,
Yeah,
so
and
that's
we'll ma
all we're here
I
for.
know we've made it big when we have Adam Sessler on our podcast,
Oh, man.
then we've made it.
Comes out of retirement for it,
That comes out of
that
retirement just for us.
that's a big deal.
That is a
That'd
big
be a big
deal.
deal.
Okay, so what's your final one for Amazing Tastic Games?
So, my final one, I think it's more just because we played it a lot, um, actually, when we were roommates, and I love the second one, but I put a lot more time into the third one. I absolutely love this game, and that's Fable 3.
Oh, yeah, Fable 3, such a great game.
I think they just, I think I liked the combat
Mhm,
aspect and the magic and everything better in 2,
mhm.
but they took everything else, the open world, the capabilities you could do of it, plus the whole, city and world building element that they added into the game on top of everything else. I absolutely loved it. I'm super sad that Fable has not gotten a resurgence.
Mhm.
You had that weird Connect game or whatever that came out for it, and you've had a couple other titles be teased, but they were never actual Fable games. They were always these weird one-off things.
Oh, yeah.
I would love to see like a Fable 4 come out. Because that game, one came out and it was definitely overhyped and overpromised. It was good, but definitely they talked it up more than the game actually produced. Two, I thought was incredible, and then three just took that and ran with it even more. I think one of my absolute favorite memories of playing Fable 3, and I think you were there for it, was I ended up getting married,
Mhm.
and we ended up getting married in a
Oh,
swamp.
yeah. I don't oh,
And as
yeah.
soon as the I do's happened, these creatures come out of the swamp, start attacking us, kill my wife, kill everybody that's there, and that was it.
I
And I was
totally
like,
remember
"What
that. Yeah,
happened?"
yeah.
Yep, we, had it in a swamp. I don't know, I was probably being poor and didn't wanna, fork out the money for a good wedding, and they killed her as soon as we said I do's, and that was the game. That was it. So, I don't think I got married again in that game. I think I was pretty heartbroken. That was pretty rough.
That's what happens when you have a cheap wedding, you
That's it.
you know
Hey, you know what?
yeah.
It's all I could do at the time. I didn't sell enough chickens. I didn't do enough missions. I was just like, "I need to marry her," and
Yeah,
turned out bad.
I totally remember that because I was, attending the wedding. By attending, I was just sitting there on the couch watching, and I literally remember it's like, you said "I do," and then creatures come out of nowhere, kill
Boom.
your wife.
Come out of the swamp and
You
kill everybody.
didn't even get a chance to enjoy your honeymoon. It was like
Not at all. No,
at all.
they just went out and killed me.
Yeah, and then, yeah, so that was I'm literally I can remember that clearly.
Yep. I thought you were there for that,
Oh,
so
yeah,
that
I was
was
definitely there. We were probably laughing for, like, 30 minutes just
100% we were. We were dying.
I think that was the week that was the summer that we'd stay up until, like,
Oh,
5,
yeah.
6 in the morning, I'm pretty
Definitely
sure,
was.
and
Oh, yeah,
then
we'd stay up and co-op Gears of War
yep,
and play other games, and then we'd go rock climbing in the afternoon, we'd eat dinner, and then we'd do video games again, and
yep,
that's all we did during college,
it was great.
summers of college. It was fantastic. I miss those days a lot sometimes.
Me too,
That was a fun summer.
Yeah, that aspect of college I definitely miss. The
Yeah.
class
I
stuff,
don't need the
not really.
finals and all that. Yeah, 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 no.
Yeah, but that's yeah, or that yeah, so yeah, that's what I mentioned about college because, I wasn't a great student.
Yeah, all my good memories usually come with video games, so it's,
Yep, yep.
yeah, great students. Yep.
Oh, yeah, great students, and yeah.
But, but hey, those are our top games, our favorites in the decade of 10 to 20. But let's end it off with a disappointing game. Either a game that you just absolutely didn't like or something you were super hyped for and it just let you down. What do you have for this decade?
Uh, I'm trying to oh, man, I don't know why I have so much trouble thinking of bad games, probably because I, like,
You
somehow
block them out.
I block them out. So
I get it.
I'm trying to think. I know there's something,
I get it.
I
Hey,
don't know
I'll
what.
I'll show mine up if you wanna think about it for a
Yeah,
second.
yeah, you go for it.
Okay, so this was actually one of my favorite games series in our 2010 podcast. We waited a long, long time for this game. It came out and it let me down, and that was Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yep.
I thought the worlds were great. I thought the story was terrible. I thought the gameplay was cool. Some of the new elements they introduced in it, some of the new like specials. I thought a lot of the worlds were cool. Some of them were let down. All I'm saying is you have Disney property and you do a Toy Story level and you do a generic toy store as your level.
Mhm.
Why can't you use Al's Toy Barn?
Oh, yeah.
Why can't you use anything that's a property of Toy Story? You put this generic, terrible atmosphere and location for a level that could have been absolutely incredible. That's a little hot take, but that's fine. But the Kingdom Hearts series, I just think it lost itself. It got too confusing. I thought the actual storyline of the game was just terrible. I did not get into it like I did the first two. For me, like I played all the levels and then I just kind of stopped playing.
Yeah,
I
no.
didn't finish the game completely. I played through all the worlds, everything out there, so I could at least experience that. Because I mean, we're big Disney people, big Disney
Oh,
fans, so
yeah.
we were excited to see those worlds. I couldn't finish the game. The story, uh, nothing was making me go once I saw all the different worlds.
Yeah, I never I watched my I've watched my wife because she has I don't know, we might still have it. I don't know if she sold it off or not, but I remember seeing the Toy Story world because I was definitely interested in that because like I said, we both love Disney, and Toy
Hmm.
Story is just one of my all-time, I know it is for you too, favorite, movies and Pixar movies. Just incredible movie, but yeah, no, like, I remember seeing the level, and it's literally just a generic toy store, and I was like, "Oh, that's really
Yeah,
disappointing." Like,
disappointing.
you have Al's Toy Barn, like, just literally, as you said, use Al's Toy Barn or
Well, you
something.
have the property.
Yeah, there's so many places and, like, things they can take from Toy Story and use in the game, but they just decided to make some random toy store that has nothing to do with Toy Story. So, yeah.
Didn't understand it, but just that there were some other really great worlds. I'm not saying the game was bad.
Yeah.
It was more of a we waited so long. I think we waited 13,
Like
14 years for
yeah.
this game to come.
Yeah.
And it wasn't what the hype was
Mhm.
with the game. But
Yeah.
um yeah, unfortunately, but it's fun if you want to play through the game. Some of the worlds are great. Uh, some of the some of the ones I really enjoyed with the Big Hero 6 and the Pirates of the Caribbean world.
Mhm.
I thought they did a fantastic job with those worlds. Great gameplay, great stuff there. Those are great. Um, but the rest of the game just kind of disappointed me. But
It's
did you think of one, Ed?
I did think of one. You started mentioning, I was like, "Oh, wait, duh, this game, it's perfect because it's one of those that, I remember we heard about it, and I was like, "Ooh, this sounds like it's gonna be amazing," and, then I played it, and it was just disappointing. Um, it actually is, I think now it's actually become a really popular it's a lot better, but when it first came out, it's just really disappointing, and that's No Man's Sky.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just remember them talking about it's like you'll be able to do all this stuff, and it's like a world, that universe, galaxy that's constantly expanding. So we thought we were getting this game where you could go on all these planets, be able to do all these things, and there was just a lot of there's nothing to do. All you can literally do, basically all you did was just excavate, mine, whatever it was, and then you just get on your spaceship and you'd fly forever, which it was cool, but at some point that's going to get boring really quick if you're
Yeah, it
there's
got
nothing
old.
to do. So it's just we were promised, just they made it sound like you were going to be able to do all these things, and then it when you actually play the game, none of that stuff that was promised was there. It's just really disappointing. But I know they've done lots of patches to the game, and it's now there's like a million things that you can do, and there's like a bunch of creatures, lots of fighting and survival. So I definitely want to play it again. But just when it came out, I was expecting all those things. It just wasn't there. Um, so it was disappointing. It was a cool, pretty game, but it's just there's nothing to do. And so it's just one of those that kinda let me down when it came out.
Hmm. Yeah, that's one of those. I got it as well, like right when it came out. I think I got it on launch day,
Mhm.
and I played it for probably 5, 7 hours, and it just yeah, it got mundane, it got boring.
Yep.
It's the same thing. Okay, cool. You have all these randomly generated planets, but there's nothing to do on any of these planets, so the whole random generation is not great. Now, apparently, because they're still working on it. I mean, you
Mhm.
have to commend the team there
Oh, yeah.
to see the problem and fix it. Apparently now the game is incredible.
Mhm.
Uh, and I have not touched it since then. I still have my copy for PS4, so I need to pop it in because it's all free updates.
Yep.
And you can even get a port on the Switch now, and you can play it on almost any console.
Mhm.
Uh, but I think from a game that just took a game that came out and, like you were saying, was just a mega disappointment. Way a bunch of hype for nothing. But then they fixed it and made a game that's actually incredible now.
Mhm.
You have to commend the team for
Oh, yeah,
versus just
100%.
saying, "Okay, never mind, wash our hands of it, let's go on to the next thing."
Yeah, no, I agree, like, they've done an incredible job, just fixing everything that was wrong with it, and, so, yeah, you gotta like I said, you gotta give it to them, like, now
Definitely.
it's become one of those games that it's just now recently, it's really, like, picking up a lot of steam, like, people are playing this game like crazy now, unlike before when it came out, it was just like No Man's Sky, and then there's
Yeah.
nothing else, it just kinda died, but they've done an incredible job fixing the game, patching it, adding so many things, and now it's become this really fun game, so definitely, I'll need to try it again, so, yeah, it's one of those games, but it's just I don't know when I'll play it, but I'll definitely play it here one day.
Yeah, I need to. I still got my copy, so I'll pop
Yeah.
it in at some point when I guess the amount of awesome games slows down, which doesn't sound like it ever will, so
No,
who knows?
there's so many games that are always coming out,
Oh, man.
so I say I'm gonna play these games, but it could still be months, years, never, but
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's so many great games, so we only have enough time to play so many.
yep.
Unfortunately, I
Yeah,
wish we didn't, but
yeah, it's okay,
that's the way of the world. But
that's the way it works.
man, we've talked a long time. We've gone a little over than we normally do, but I mean, it's about video games, so who cares?
Yeah.
So, I appreciate everyone for listening. Ed, you got anything before we sign off?
Um, keep on playing video games.
That's it.
It's 'cause
Keep
it's
on
fun.
playing video games.
It's good
An
for
easy
you.
one.
It's good for your health.
That's it. That's it. Yeah, you don't need to go to class or anything.
No,
Just
you
make a
don't
friend
need
in
to go.
college, play a bunch of video games. You're fine.
Yep, you're fine. Yeah, no,
That's
just
it.
yeah, have fun. Keep playing.
That, exactly. You know what? Those are words to live by.
Yeah, words to
Right
live
there.
by.
That is inspirational.
That's Ed's inspirational quote for the
It's
day.
inspirational. That's it. Just play more video games.
Play more video games.
Yeah, it's okay. You don't need to go to class. You don't need to go
Yeah.
to work. You don't need to go do that. You just play games.
Hey, Stuart, are you going to class today?
No.
No, that's no, Siri.
Oh, the Siri not want to go to class either?
Yeah, she doesn't either. Siri, stop.
See, Siri even wants to play video games.
Siri, I was like, "What is that?" I was like, "Did you just add an effect?" I was like, "Oh, that's my phone.
Yep.
That's Siri."
Yeah, I was like, that's definitely Siri. Uh,
Yeah,
like we said, we're just two guys who like to talk about video games. So,
and
stuff
Siri
happens.
apparently does too, so
Exactly. Well, on that note, I think we're going to sign off. Thank you for listening to the Odd Gaming Podcast.
odd.
I'm Stuart. That's been Ed. Have a great one. Peace out.
Awesome, bye.